Hey, and welcome back to the Geekshow Helpdesk. I am your very attractive, conventionally attractive host, Jaren.
Conventionally
The fact that
attractive.
you have
I
to
like that.
specify it.
No, I like that.
If
No,
you have
I
to
like
say
that
it, it's
because-
not true.
No, I like that because it gives me a place to say I'm unconventionally attractive and still feel okay.
Just
See?
look on YouTube, listener. Decide for yourself. Leave a comment.
Seriously,
No need, because they already know by this voice.
you've got that
they?
sweet,
Do
sweet
they?
podcasting voice right
Okay.
there.
Anyway, we are the Geek Show Helpdesk, where we talk about tech, sciencey, gadgety thingies. Yeah, and we'll start off with Owen, O-Dog.
Hey,
What are we doing right now, Jaron?
we're
Are we introducing the panel? Is that what we're doing?
We're introducing the panel. Let me just say
Okay.
something. I caught Lang playing Halo. For some reason mine was set to offline. No, he was online because I checked later. I was appearing offline for some reason. I don't know. I think I was newly informed by Tony how to do that, but I was the crazy guy. Come play Halo with me. Cuddle Beastie, which is Lang, randomly showed up in one of my Fiesta matches because in my quick play I have two modes: Fiesta and Super Fiesta. Like that's all I want to play.
You got to throw in that Kong mode they put it.
I know.
And then there's the single shot with the Mauler. That was fun too.
Yeah, that one's fun. It's just such a gear shift. Anyway, this is still my intro. I'm matching Shin 80 now on Xbox, and Lang didn't know that, and so he did not recognize me as I frantically hopped around him, shooting him because he was on my team, by the way. I teabagged him when he died. I ran up and because I was trying to save him, but because I was so distracted trying to get his attention, I accidentally let him die. And then I decided
And
to
then you
teabag
teabag
him.
him.
Yeah, because I thought
Naturally, as you
I
do.
wanted him to be so angry to be like, "Who is this guy?" And then anyway, so Lang, I apologize. I'm Owen. Find me here. That's it.
What
There
an
you go.
intro.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I'm getting all my words out
Lando,
now, Jaren.
save us.
Hey, it's Lando. The best. That's it. I'm done.
See, he evened it out.
And then we got someone named Tony or something.
Yeah, that's what they call me. Tony or Quad T or Ginger Squatch. Whatever. I don't care. Check me out on Blue Sky, Quad T. And don't check me out on Twitter.
Oh.
Twitter is just straight lurking now. I don't really post anything there, but I keep it to lurk because
This is the way.
that's it's got my news and everything.
I cannot believe how many companies and journalists have
They're
switched
moving-
over in the
They're
last 2
moving
weeks.
along. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And don't forget the guy hosting the show today, right
Hey,
over
He's already
there.
introduced himself. He's fine.
I'm Jaron. Jaren.
Unconventionally
Jerry,
ungood-looking person.
I am
Jaron.
conventionally attractive, and
Jaragorn.
By the numbers, he's attractive.
yes. And let's get the show on the road. Do we got any emails, Tony?
That's your job.
No, I'm hosting.
I think that's how it works.
Got
there.
him.
That's
The answer is yes. We have an email.
Yes, Jaron, we do have emails.
All right. What is it, Tony?
Well, let me log in and find out.
He was not prepared for this.
We decided at the very last second to have Jaron host, and now this is what
And I was
get.
ready, but were
This
you ready?
is what I get for being a nice guy.
To
Never
be fair,
again.
Jaren
Never again.
has-
Okay,
Jaron
I got
has
one.
the
Here we
email.
go. Here we go. Oh, it's old Twyman. Hey. Dear Helpdesk knowledge gurus, titans of tantalizing tech, and Lambo. In a recent episode, there was discussion about an
hated
OS that fit on a 3.5-inch floppy disk.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember who initiated that discussion.
That was me, Lambo.
Probably
It was
some
actually
random
Ann
guest
Lambo.
speaker who embodied the whole even blind squirrels find a nut saying.
He's the worst.
Anyway,
that's perfect.
regardless of whoever that dingus was, I was dismayed to hear comments along the lines of, where will you be able to find computers to use this on?
We should have known
And
Twyman would.
Show me anyone of any economic position that has a computer this old. I
mean-
like many other normal and common folk in the world, have such a system sitting right next to me. It's a
I knew
Toshiba,
Twyman would.
Yeah.
Toshiba Libretto 50 CT, released in 1996. It runs Windows 95 and can fit it in and can fit it in the back pocket of Jinkos with room to spare.
Nice.
I actually used it during my high school years for note-taking in class. But before you ask, the answer is no, I was not rich. In fact, it turns out it was very uncool to have a machine running Windows 95 in the year 2006.
Yeah, it
When
was.
the actual cool kids were running Windows XP. If only I was Owen, I'm sure I would have
Vista
been quite
was out by
popular.
then.
But alas, I was born a decade too late.
Mm.
I have included photos for your
You'd have
viewing
been
pleasure,
rocking.
including classic shots like the boot up screen to stir your nostalgia. Note the original user manual, dock, Ethernet adapter, and floppy disk drive.
Nice.
Those with keen eyes will have noticed the Ethernet and floppy both utilize PC cards, of which you could only use one at a time, so plan ahead. Thanks again for all you do. Fingers crossed. Twyman. P.S. I'm going to try to send Tony videos directly of the system boot and floppy disk loading should you want some ASMR triggering memories.
Yeah.
All right, let me share these pics here, and I do have. I'll have to scroll up a little bit to find those videos, but
on our audio only show. I guess we do.
No,
but
that's
they're
YouTube.
YouTube. We're on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lando.
people listen to on in their cars and
Well,
things.
now they have an excuse to go check out the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Because you know they're going to do it
Lambo.
anyway to see how attractive I am.
That's
Right.
right. Wait, what?
They're gonna go see how conventionally attractive Jaren is and how unconventionally attractive I am.
Just like
and then
that.
there's Tony.
We should do a hot or not.
No, we
I've
should
done
not
it.
do that.
I scored 7.8 back in the day.
Yeah, me too. I was
Boom.
firmly in the 8 category.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I could even find my picture. Have you guys seen that? I don't know
Is
if
it the
it might.
is it the Be Hungry picture?
No, it might trump that.
That
picture.
one would get a 10 out of 10.
It might.
That
it might
one
trump
is-
that picture.
That one is classic.
I
All right,
don't
let
know
me
if
see
I want to
this
show
is
that.
working here. There we go.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
that bad boy out.
Remember those PC
That
cards we had
thing's
to
freaking
have?
sweet.
Oh yeah. There's the user manual.
I wonder if he got this out just to show us.
I
This,
course he
guarantee he
did.
did.
this has to be gathering mothballs next to his
He-
laser
It
disc.
turns on, though.
and
He
it does.
is almost, if not equal to Owen in his old tech hoarding.
Yes. Yes, me and Twyman. They say that you find your tribe when you meet people. Twyman's definitely part of that. Like
Indeed.
instant old man vibes too. And he always had a great beard. Does he still have a beard?
Oh, you better believe he does. Okay, let me see. Okay, here we go. So you don't need to hear, or you don't need to see these, but we'll play the audio because that's what we want, right?
Of course.
The audio on these.
If it's just Twyman,
Actually, you know what? You should see this. You got to have the whole experience.
I was gonna
As
say.
host, I need to put the
was gonna-
kibosh on this. This is getting kind of boring.
I was gonna say, this would be a really good troll if Twyman just started swearing all of a sudden, like just like he's like, gotcha.
Oh, it's an Exactimate disc.
Ooh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
See, aren't you glad I showed the video?
Yeah.
They still exist. It's like oh yeah.
Now we just need the modem noises.
Zero. No, that's the drive finding center.
I know.
and-
We need the modem connecting to the internet noises to complete the ASMR.
Here's there it is. Beep beep. Windows 95.
Windows 95.
It's so fast.
First time Windows actually started putting aesthetics first. And then 98 was kind of the peak, and then Windows
What are you
2000.
talking about? 3.1 was beautiful in its own way.
No.
All right.
Okay,
there you
Jaron, keep the
go.
show moving, dude.
All right,
This
Tony,
is your job.
we got another email. Tony,
I added that. That was me.
this is
Oh, it
this
didn't
is
have
a
the
Jaren-like pause here.
Oh, email? No, that's it.
No, we got one from Cody Taylor.
Oh, I thought it was already read.
I don't think so.
Oh, it was read. It wasn't marked unread after someone read it.
That was me.
Great job. All right. Hey, everyone, and Mr. Conover. I finally decided to buy a dash cam.
hate this joke. I hate it so much.
Thanks to that viral video of the silver car stopping in front of the dash cam, only to back into it intentionally. That clip was all the convincing I needed. My wife and I are curious about our options, but truthfully, I'm too lazy to do all the research myself.
Me too.
Besides, I enjoy hearing you all discuss this kind of thing. It's always entertaining, especially when Landon gets fired up or when Jaren's forehead vein makes its grand appearance.
That's my favorite.
Props to Jaren's microphone for capturing that so vividly. Looking forward to your thoughts. Thanks, Cody.
We've talked about dash cams, and our discussion was
We don't know.
Yeah.
That's
There's
unfortunately nothing's
Plenty
changed.
out there.
Yeah.
There's all different price points. And so I talked to a buddy of mine that had has one of these, and he had a cheap one for the longest time. He upgraded now, so it's like you can get ones with just forward and rear facing, and you can get ones like forward and cab facing. So he's got one with 3. So he actually records the front of his car, the back of his car, and inside the cab. All at
Is he a DoorDash driver?
4K, and it was like
Uber
$300
driver?
or $400 for his setup. So.
Yeah,
But the cheap ones are like $30, and they just do the outside. So, just depends what you want, really.
Yeah, there's just a lot of options. I hate to say it, you're just gonna have to do your own research on this one, just because we've
Never had one.
never bothered.
Here's what I'd Google: wire cutter best dash cam, and start there.
Wire cutter, CNET, probably
Verge,
Engadget.
Gizmodo.
The Verge, I'm sure they have all their ones that they want to do. I wouldn't just go off of Amazon reviews, though.
No.
That's not something you want to do. All right.
Here we go.
is it
Let's
for
get
the
to the
emails.
stories.
Stories.
Yeah, I want to hear from Lando. I want to hear all of Lando's stories up
Let's do
front.
it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm very curious about this touch bar because I was a huge touch bar hater. I don't know why anyone would ever want this.
I'm a
Go.
pretty big touch bar hater too, but
No.
here's the thing about the touch bar. When the touch bar was useful,
That's the
boy,
thing.
howdy was it useful.
That's the thing. If they
It just wasn't very useful very often.
If they had put the touch bar above the function keys and left the function keys, they'd still have it. I think
Right,
people would
but
not
if-
have complained.
If you're a touch typer, how often are you looking down at your keyboard? Not very often.
Not very often.
Anytime I want to use the media keys or all the stuff that the
Copy
touch bar
paste
would
shortcuts.
change
Yeah.
to accommodate
So
for.
anyway, there's a company called Enea. I'm not sure how they say it. They're creating a new product called the Flex Bar. This is a standalone product that is essentially the touch bar for your Mac. It's a USB-C device that you can plug into your Mac, your Windows computer, or your mobile device to have basically all the same functionality as
lay it on top. You just lay it on top, just like,
or to the side.
like a flaccid dongle.
Look at the
You just-
pictures. There's a person here using Procreate on their iPad with the touch bar to their side. Looks pretty sweet. The thing I think that makes this little neat is it is much more customizable than the touch bar was, right? So the touch bar was kind of like either apps had to like program for it or Apple kind of just told you what it would do. This one is more closer to a macro pad, like a what's it called? The
Stream Deck.
Stream Deck. Thank you,
Yeah.
Owen. Where you can customize it and have it do what you want it to do in a variety of different ways.
I
Seems
can't
like
see
this-
myself putting this in the backpack with my laptop and pulling it out every time I
I
pull
can
out
see
my
this
laptop.
getting cracked in half in my
Yeah.
backpack.
It seems like the Stream Deck is just the better option though, because you
Well, and I
get
think
real
neither-
buttons. It's better supported.
Yep, has
And I
screens.
think neither of them are designed to go with you in your backpack. Like, I don't take my Stream Deck with me. This is something I'd leave on my desk at work.
Yeah. And plus,
Um,
this is a Kickstarter, right?
This is Kickstarter. The one thing here that the article does mention is hopefully they're not using the same supplier that Apple used for their touch bar because they're no longer making them. And while there is a supply of them, they'll be gone
Limited run.
soon. Yeah, so
maybe this
hopefully
is
they found
just
a different way
the-
to source them.
Yeah, maybe this is just the B stock that's left over, and these guys
This is what
just
they
got
couldn't sell to Apple.
They just got a hold of the screens and then put this fancy bezel around them.
Yeah. Speaking of B stock, Spotify put out a CarThing and then bricked it. So
Yeah.
there's all sorts of
So-
those out there.
If this is the kind of thing that interests you, it is on Kickstarter now for $119.
Lando, that was a segue to Owen. Owen,
I know, I wasn't done yet. You
And
thought I was
you're-
done, I wasn't done.
That was your own fault.
Your lower third says Sultan of Segs, and you are not. You are the Wiener of Segs.
the Wiener of Segs.
Okay, I can be done now. Go ahead, Owen, do your thing.
I'm still recovering from segs instead of segways, and I don't know how to process what Tony said. Wiener
The
of
Wiener of
Segs.
Segs.
So we
Awfully
talked about
close
this.
to the other word.
So we talked about this before. Spotify's bricking their CarThing. Like seriously, they're like, yeah, goodbye. Well, the CarThing, it was about $100 when you bought it. It's kind of just nothing now. You can't really do anything with it. But some enterprising people, a YouTuber by the name of Damn It Jeff, which I really appreciate. Yeah, like I really
Damn it, Jeff.
appreciate that.
It's really good.
He has taken it and jailbroken the CarThing to make it the DeskThing. It really is. There's not a good way. It'll never be the CarThing. He doesn't think it's never going to be able to sync and do that, control the Spotify. But you can use it when you link it to like a computer.
So
And,
like another Stream Deck, like
it is. It really is. But this one's
Sensing a
cooler
pattern.
because it's somebody taking an abandoned project, and
My thing was
and
somebody
rebuilding
taking an abandoned project and making their own thing.
No,
That was my
your
thing,
guys-
too.
I don't think it was abandoned.
Yeah,
it
but
was
yours
just a bad
requires more
idea.
manufacturing and
Yeah.
That's fair.
creation
So-
of
as
new
the impartial
hardware.
judge, I'm gonna have to go with Owen on this one.
Screw you,
I like
Jaron.
that so much. Oh, it feels so good. Tony, can you
Jaren's
clip
ever
that
been
for me?
impartial about anything.
I know. That's
are you
why I need
talking
that
about?
audio. I need that audio clipped. So, what happened with
Ringtone
Spotify?
incoming.
Yeah, seriously, it's just gonna be like objectively. I agree with Owen. So Spotify kind of very quietly and unannounced, they released all of the code for the CarThing into a GitHub repository just called SPSGSB. That was it. And
no way to
nothing.
know that that's what it is for on the name.
Just dumped it there, and you kind of had to know. And so he said, it's really the CarThing's not really great at running anything. It only has half a gig of memory and 4 gigs of internal storage.
Oof.
So
that's a lot better than Twyman's laptop.
that's true.
Heyo.
There's like 17 of those laptops in there. But so here's the things that you can do currently. So he's got DeskThing, which makes Spotify desk friendly, adds a tiny app store for weather, which is including his own weather wave. It's Jeff's. Clocks and alternate music controls. There's GlanceThing, which you can do, keeps the music controls, but also provides some Stream Deck like app launching shortcuts for your main computer. And then there's Nocturne, which is currently it's invite only, which makes it like putting it behind this invite only makes it right. I did the same thing where I'm like, hold on, I'm interested
I
now.
want that.
And the Nocturne, currently invite only, is a wholly redesigned Spotify interface that restores all its Spotify functionality.
Can you add
So-
Apple Music?
Oh, speaking, it's not invite only anymore.
knows?
I clicked the link and
You can get it now. You can
no
get
need to wait for an
Nocturne.
email. We've released Nocturne for
there
information.
you
Click
go.
here.
Hey,
Well, now
thanks
I
for
don't
doing
want
that.
it as badly.
Now I don't care. When was
think
this story
so.
released? Oh yeah, this story's been pushed through a couple times on our notes. This came out on November the 12th, so it's a little bit dated, but as of this article's writing, it was behind a pay.
Yeah, and then on the 13th they released it.
Yeah, we never claimed we were professionals. All right, let's move it on to some Intel news. Tony,
Oh man, has it been a week for Intel?
has
Seriously.
it been a last 5 years for Intel?
Yes, but it seems like a lot of stuff is coming to a head this week. Do you want me to cover both stories?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
please.
for it.
Okay. So we'll start it off with Intel is being forced to keep their foundry business that they wanted to spin off.
They were gonna kick. Yeah.
They were going to spin it off into its own thing or sell it. In
Something.
fact, I think I could be wrong, but I swear I remember reading TSMC was interested in it for a little bit.
Which
Or
is
no,
interesting.
No, it was Qualcomm.
Isn't that interesting though? Because aren't they about to get a huge chunk of money from the bill?
That's what
Intel?
this story is.
That's what the story is.
Oh.
The CHIPS Act says
Yeah.
you can't have the money unless you have the foundry, because that's the whole point of the CHIPS Act, is to bring chip manufacturing to the U.S.
I just don't understand why Intel would want to get rid of it when they knew they were going to get such a huge influx of money by keeping it. Or
Well,
not
now they're
spinning
keeping it.
Well, yeah,
because
they have to, right?
it's I
Owen,
want to say
in the last 5-10 years, has Intel made any good decisions?
Boom, got
that's a
him.
good point. Yeah, that is a very good point.
The amount of money we're talking here is not small. $7.86 billion.
With a B.
Billion with a B. And as a result of that, the stipulation for accepting that money is they must retain at least 50.1% of controller ownership of its foundry business. So,
And they recently announced that it will spin off its foundry division to become independently run while reporting to Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger.
yep. And that's the other part of the Intel news. Pat, quote, retired, end quote.
I don't think he retired, Tony.
He was forced out.
Yeah, I think
so. This Intel story was published
exactly
December 1st. Then Pat retired December 2nd.
Yep.
retired.
So the news here from Bloomberg via MSN on this article is basically the board pushed him out because
Gave him the gold watch.
He's only been CEO for 3 years. He's worked at Intel for something like 30 plus or maybe even 40.
Yeah.
But he's only been in charge. He's only been captain of the ship for 3 years. And apparently they did not appreciate the moves he's made in the last 3 years and the work and the direction he's taken the company. I can't say that I blame them, but he was handed a dumpster fire.
The problem is the direction was set long before he got there.
That's what I mean. That's
you can't
what I mean.
turn that around in 3 years.
He didn't make it worse, but he didn't really improve it. Would you say?
Right. That's because when you're handed a dumpster fire or a sinking ship, it's like, okay, well, this is going to take some time to fix, to put the fire out and rebuild, or to start patching the holes in the ship.
There's only one person I know alive that knows how to polish a turd, and that is Lando with our Patreon.
That's not a turd.
It's not a turd. We have
a golden nugget.
We have good stuff.
Good
stuff from our Patreon. The in-between alone is worth it. Gold.
Solid gold.
Something tells me our Patreon rater is going to rate the in-between. Last week's in-between real good this week. Prediction.
We'll see. Jaron, you're doing that, right? I'm not looking that up. The Patreon names?
No, this is you, man. I'm running the show.
Farts. All right.
I could do it. Whatever.
I'll figure it out.
No, you won't. All right. So, any other news about Intel?
No, just that this all comes after they've been delisted from the Dow Jones, and
it's been a rough bit for them.
It has been.
Do they have a temporary CEO now, or stand-in?
Yeah, they
scapegoat.
They does it say who they put here? I don't know. It doesn't really matter because
the janitor probably. They're like, hey, the janitor was walking by, so we put him in there. He agreed to get 1 week's worth of salary of CEO pay and then retire.
So they're going to find someone else to keep the seat warm for a while before they choose who's going to be the permanent CEO. But
I hope they find their way.
They need to, because they're an American institution. First of all, we were talking about this earlier in the week, Jaron. We got these two massive companies that were leaders globally for so long with their technology and their manufacturing, Intel and Boeing. And now they are just the laughing stocks of their industries.
Seriously. Intel missed mobile, and that was the beginning of the end for them.
Yep.
Like AMD did too, but at least AMD has GPUs, which is helping them keep afloat.
You see, what gives me a little bit of hope is AMD went through this same kind of thing that Intel's going through right now.
Oh, right, yeah.
They put out years of just mediocre products and got down to the point where people wondered, is AMD going to be around? I don't know if they were ever on the Dow Jones, but
but like I mentioned with their GPUs, like they've been able to build competent APUs for years. They got that
was like the only thing that kept them afloat for a while.
Right. Yep.
So
you saw a computer. You saw a computer in the mid 2000s and it said AMD on it, and you were like, "Ugh, man."
Yeah, I remember that.
No,
exactly.
That's a computer.
That's cheap stuff.
They need to find another Jim Keller over at Intel. They need to find someone who's gonna redo their architecture and start putting out competitive products, just like Jim Keller did for Apple, for AMD, for. I think he did it for
Did-
Intel once
did he-
already.
Did he come over to AMD and that's where they started their new
That's when they started the Ryzen stuff.
the Ryzen
that
stuff? He's
was-
just like, I've got this chip I've been.
That's what it feels like. Wherever
I
he
just-
goes,
He's like, I got this chip I've been thinking about. Should we make it? Yeah, okay.
wherever that guy goes, I don't know if it's that he has the knowledge himself or if he's just good at inspiring others or
Probably a
what.
time travel. He's probably a time traveler. He has
Feels
to keep
like
moving.
it.
He has to keep moving around to keep his cover.
Speaking of once great companies, which are now a shell of their former selves, Vizio, Walmart.
I'm gonna
they-
say
Oh.
Walmart, and I'm like,
Don't make me. This makes me sad.
Walmart
Uh,
sucks.
Vizio, I used to love Vizio, like back
Yeah.
in the 2016 time
They
frame.
used to be rad.
They put out some pretty great TVs that were reasonably priced with
At a
good
good
specs.
price point. Yep.
Back in February, Walmart announced their plans to acquire Vizio, and they finally finished that. And if you are wondering why they bought them, this is the reason. It's pretty depressing. The retail giant says the acquisition will help bolster its advertising business.
Oh, get ready for ads.
So they didn't buy Vizio for TVs or technology, which
They're
pretty
just
much
gonna
tells
push it
you
out through a UI.
the status of Vizio TVs
Yep.
in how today's going. Yeah, so not great. Who knows? Maybe Walmart will surprise us, but
Have they before? I don't think
The
so.
owners of Vizio are making out pretty well, though. $2.3 billion for this purchase.
I'll take it.
Maybe-
seem that
maybe they
much
can go.
nowadays.
Maybe
Honestly.
they can go. Maybe they can go start a new TV business. Just like Zivio or something.
Zivio.
Who knows? Like the name doesn't matter, obviously.
It's genius. You got it.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
send them an email. Hey, if you need a marketing guy, Zivio, I got you.
Let's keep going with the depressing news. Owen, let's talk about price gouging.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're talking about the ISPs here, and oh no, we're not. We're the price gouging. Sorry, not the ISPs. That's my other one. It's the tariffs one. So we're talking about tariffs.
ISP's price gouge, too.
That is too. That's your segue was too broad, Jaron. So as,
You have price gouging in the headline here. How is that too broad?
because it didn't talk about which price
Don't
gouging
pin
we're
this on me, Owen.
doing. Okay.
I don't
all
want
right.
to accept
right,
your
it's like-
failure.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't hurt me anymore. That's all I ask. That's all I ask is that I've
Did you say axe? That's all I asked.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
Said
did.
ask. No, I said ask. Roll the tape. Anyway,
Owen?
so we're talking about tariffs, Jaron. Okay, back on course. Maybe I need to drive. So you know, one of the things about putting tariffs on countries like we do, there's going to be retaliation, and China announced their retaliatory tariffs and trade things they're going to do, and one of them is not good. So China has banned certain metal exports. These will no longer come out of China to the U.S. Gallium, germanium, and antimony, which is not alimony. It's anti-money. Anyway, I took
Nailed it.
those. I took those, and I said to myself, "What's gallium, germanium, and antimony used for?" You want to hear the list?
I do.
It's not great. Used for gallium and germanium are used in semiconductors, while germanium is also used in infrared technology, fiber optic cables, and solar
Infrared.
cells.
I'm sorry,
so
buddy.
where are we gonna get these things from now?
Infrared, Jaron. Anyway, don't get me started, man. It's been a rough day since I read that. Just got over it. Antimony is used in bullets and other weaponry. I don't know why. While graphite is the largest component. I don't know why they talk about graphite because it's not what I asked for. But anyway, semiconductors, infrared technology, fiber optic cables, those are all things that are part of gadgets and technology. So
making
expect those-
everything more expensive.
expect those to go up. So get your gadgets while they're good, while the getting's good.
And that's exactly what I've done during Black Friday.
Oh,
You got
boy,
him?
Howdy, have you?
Yeah. So we're gonna see how that goes, and we're gonna see prices go up and down, and a bunch of, I don't know, weaseling back and forth. I don't know. So the U.S. must now scramble to locate new deposits containing these minerals. So we
Brilliant.
should probably just strip mine the entire, I don't know, center of the country. Start there for those minerals. Anyway, depressing. It's gonna get rough out there in the gadgetry and electronics market.
Boo.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to something more happy, like tattoos for brains.
This is actually pretty cool. So if you pull up the picture here, I think you gotta get the idea pretty quick. So there's something called an EEG for scanning the brain. It stands for some word I can't say. Electroencephalography, something. EEG, right? So this is when they stick electrodes on your brain and do brain scans. So what they've done here is they've found a way to use tattoos, spray on tattoos specifically.
So it's not
to
like
attach
drilling
electrodes to
into your skull and putting tattoos on the brain itself.
No, it's just replacing
this
the electrode,
That's much better. Okay.
the thing, like, right? So if you ever done a sleep study, you have to go in and put this thing in your head, and like it's a pain in the butt. These tattoos would be a way to make this more comfortable for users.
Do you have to shave your head though?
You do.
I would assume so, yes.
No. I'll take
You couldn't do
the
it.
brain implant, please.
Yeah.
Get the
Not
shave.
his
It's,
hair,
it's like a
anything but his
conductive.
hair.
It's like a conductive spray on ink that basically replaces the wires, so the leads only have to go to the back of your head, not
Right.
be all up in your
See the
up on
picture,
your
right?
head. Yeah, I see the picture, and
Yeah.
your lead should have been head tattoos, not brain tattoos.
So it says here that the liquid oozes around the hair to settle directly on the skin of the scalp before drying, much like writing with a pen. So I don't think you need to shave your head, according to what it says.
All the people
The
in the
picture
picture do
shaved.
have short hair, though.
Right, because it makes for a better picture.
Yeah, I don't.
If it had Jaren's hair, you wouldn't see the tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I just saw this. I'm like, this is pretty sweet, actually. It's technology and new cool things happening and make our lives better.
I do like iterations in that way. I like not always new stuff, but improvements on old stuff.
To make them better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Improvements.
That's it. That's the thing.
All right, let's move to a lightning round, boys.
Lightning
if
already?
Yeah.
Yes, already. Let him drive, Tony.
Yep.
Don't criticize the way he
I'm
drives.
gonna get to bed early tonight, boys. All right, Tony, what do you got?
Oh, Elon just being Elon.
Oh no.
He has filed a court document saying he wants an injunction against OpenAI and Microsoft because of anti-competitive practices. And he's trying to seek the stopping of OpenAI's conversion to a for-profit company named Sam Altman.
Why would he do that?
Bunch of the guys from OpenAI and
Yeah.
things specifically. He's
talked-
mad at them. I mean, really, this is just because it competes with the
Grok
AI
or whatever he
Grok,
does.
I think.
Grok.
He doesn't want it competing with Grok.
Well, he just likes creating people. He wants to create outrage, so people are mad at things that he's mad at that interfere with his business. Because I bet you outrage is more
It's more
profitable for him than just
OpenAI
like.
OpenAI, if they can get past that the not-for-profit chokehold that they have, basically anything over X amount goes to the not-for-profit. They're poised to make some pretty huge moves in the AI space. I've been following them recently, and their stuff is pretty crazy, scary crazy.
Apparently, this is his fourth attempt at trying to do something about this.
He was originally on the board of OpenAI when it was make AI a peaceful conqueror.
Yeah,
You know,
not anymore.
no.
So,
He
there you
just
go. That's
wants
my-
more money.
That's my lightning round.
All right. My lightning round is tasting in VR. VR
I love
tasting.
this story so much.
It's kind of wild and never thought something like this was doable outside of like a vat of chemicals being poured into your mouth or whatever.
Still gross.
Still gross. This one though relies on electricity.
How does that work?
Yes,
How
it's
does
weird.
that work?
So the 5 basic flavors being, what are they? Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. They are simulated by varying the frequency, intensity, and direction of electrical signals on your tongue. So you get this electrical lollipop, put it
Okay.
to your
Put a
mouth.
battery,
That's what I
you
was
ever put a
gonna ask.
battery
How
on
are-
your tongue? You ever
how
put
are
a
they
battery on your
passing
tongue
This.
and you taste it?
They
Just like-
pass the stimulation through hydrogels.
Yeah.
So flavors are generated via current flowing through a target gel, delivering flavor chemicals to the outside of the lollipop.
So you're
You
still
can then
licking
lick
it.
the device to experience the flavors. If you add smell to it, it enhances the perception of taste as well.
Do they say how
current
they're
tech-
adding smell? Do
uh,
they say how they're adding smell? Because I
it would
looked
be
for that.
chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now it's limited to about an hour because the infused hydrogels shrink and run out of flavor after about an hour. Interesting though, I don't really understand why you would need to taste in VR. I mean, like, I
It's
guess
more
if you want to trial lollipops in VR, that's something. Because what it won't simulate is texture,
Yeah. You're gonna pick up.
Yeah.
which is huge for
Yeah.
taste and flavor and just enjoyment of food.
I taste textures.
They do list some reasons why. They're like to show kids that have never tasted something before, or to have like if you want to try something out at the grocery store or something. I don't know, but right now the flavors are pretty basic because they don't have them. They're just the sweet, salty, sour, and umami, right?
I think it's a little bit more.
You got to be able to mix them to make like specific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
flavors.
right. Those are the what
Those
do
are
we
the
call that?
bases. You know, the foundational.
The primary
Yeah.
tastes.
Interesting concept. I'm more for haptics in VR than tasting personally, but
You have to play the whole game with a lollipop in your mouth so
Yeah.
you can taste what the protagonist is tasting.
Right? That's the thing, right? Like chemical, the smell and taste have always been the hardest senses because they're so viscous. They're so messy. So this, I mean, can you imagine, like, go clean your lollipop off, or like, where do you store that? Did you grab mine, or was this yours? It's like
Yeah.
toothbrushes for gaming.
dip it in the
don't
gel
know.
again.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you,
Gross.
it doesn't really say how you infuse the hydrogel either. It's just, anyway,
Yeah,
it's gross,
weird.
but I guess what other way you gonna do it? Put electrodes on your tongue? You know, like that's the only other way to do it.
We need
You
a
know what?
replicator like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Big
what
time.
I'm hoping for is like a tongue sleeve that you
A
slide
tongue
over like a
sleeve.
tongue condom that has electrodes
That's
in
what I was
it.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get your
with
mind out of the
that,
gutter,
Owen,
Jaren. I saw your face and
Owen?
exactly where it went. I don't
Owen?
even know if I have a lightning round after that. Hold on. Yeah, I'll give a quick one. ISPs are liars.
What's new?
Yeah, I know. There's some people. What do you call those? I'm having a brain fart. The people that go to the government and shill for people.
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Thanks, man. So they are saying that the lobbyists are arguing for the ISPs, saying the reason why people don't leave our service is because our customer service is so good.
Nobody's
if our customer
ever said that
service,
about any
if our
ISP.
customer, I know, if our customer service was bad, we would just lose them as customers. That's what they're
so many
saying.
places to
Has
go.
nothing to do with your monopoly.
FCC is saying, the FCC is basically saying, look, this is a basic right, like this, and it needs to be good customer service. And they're like, with a person, and they're like, no, AI bots are the way. They're only getting better. They're not that great right now. But they're like, what about people with disabilities? And they're like, So this is the quote. If a provider fails to efficiently resolve an issue, they risk losing not only that customer in there, and not just for the one service, but potentially for all the bundled services offered to that customer. So basically saying we wouldn't have poor customer service. That would just be bad business. That's dumb. Why would we ever do that? And then it goes on to say that all these different, the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission in Oregon, the California Public Utilities Commission in California, they all say there's basically in most places, if there is internet, it's not reliable, and there's only one provider. So it's just ISPs doing
Being
ISP
dumb.
being ISP things. It's not
Well,
great though.
Starlink is out there now.
It
Yeah,
is
pretty
it is,
decent.
and it is an option in that way.
It's quite good.
It's
Can
not.
you just go sign up for
quite
it now? Whenever.
affordable.
Last time I thought I looked
No,
at it,
it's pretty much in the U.S. anyway. It's everywhere.
like there's a waiting
Yeah.
list kind of thing.
It's hard.
Yeah, there's
it's
not a
hard
waiting
because
list anymore either.
it's hard because if you've got privilege, it's not so bad. But
Right.
for places that need just basic internet access,
It's
for
pricey.
yeah, it's really pricey.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, they're the FCC doesn't look like it's going to be great. With the new administration coming in, basically the new guy does not believe in it. This guy
Does not believe in what?
Brendan Carr, he doesn't
Anything.
believe that the FCC should be doing up should be involved in any of this, and it's an overreach of the FCC.
You thought
to-
Agit Pie was bad. You
Yeah,
just buckle up,
exactly.
buddy.
Yep.
You just wait.
So, anyway, the ISPs are likely going to get what they're asking for, which is a elimination of some of the current rules that have been in place to try and it's been a hard row to hoe to push for ISPs for internet to be a basic service, right? So we're going to see that.
It's going out
Get
the
worse.
window.
Yep. Anyway,
Well, on that very sour note, Lando, you got anything else?
Does it look like everything else, Jaron?
dude, he brought his
Yeah,
two
I
stories.
wanted to give you the chance.
You
Maybe
got all
there's-
your Lando up front, man.
Maybe there's something.
I have content for the in between, but I'll talk about that when I pimp the Patreon.
All right. Well, speaking of Patreon, why don't you pimp the Patreon?
Let's pimp the Patreon, baby. Let's go. Our Patreon is probably the best Patreon. Everyone's telling it. Everyone's saying it's the best
I've
Patreon
talked to many
You know
people.
it.
in the
I know it.
entire Patreon universe.
Everybody knows
Many
it.
people have told me about Patreon.
Like, everyone's saying it. It's the best. So for a mere $1 a month, you get access to all kinds of cool benefits. First and foremost, super secret Discord channel. That's where we talk about all the cool stuff. Like, if you're not there, you got FOMO and it's bad. Second off, early access to the shows. They're the best. Like, you get both shows early, ad free, with, mind you, the in between the two shows, sandwiched. Tony usually calls it the whole enchilada, and it's the best. So the way that
I
works,
try to
when you-
vary it up. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
pizza supreme. Sometimes it's the full turkey dinner. Like,
yeah, so the way it works, when you sign up for Patreon, you get your own special Patreon RSS feed. You plug it in your podcatcher, and it's your own super special show all together, and it's awesome.
The
The in
whole
between
length,
show
yeah.
is the best. Last week's in between, I have to say, there were tears in my eyes. The show was so good. Oh my gosh. I have more content this week. I have a whole thing prepared. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you have to pay us $1 to find out.
toot your own horn that much, it might fall off. You got to be careful.
Also, you can do a drinking game for how many times Landon says it was the best in this section of
Absolutely.
the show.
Not if you want to live. Don't
no,
do it.
yeah. That's
Next up, if you're a Patreon of ours before December 10th, you're getting a cool Christmas present.
It's the best.
It's the best.
Thank you. Salute.
And if you give us $6 or more, Jaron says whatever you want him to say. He's going to do that right now.
I actually looked it up. I got it.
Oh,
got
Tony's
it.
going to do it.
Tony's
It's-
going to do it.
Every
Is
once in
it-
a while, you get Tony to say funny
Is
things.
it in the right order?
I believe it is. We'll find out.
Did you filter the right ones in and
Oh,
out?
Jared, you don't get to question if you didn't do the work, my guy.
No, we'll see, because there's someone who changed their name, and it has to be. in a
Well, and
particular
not only
order.
that, I think I haven't talked to Tony about this one yet, but I don't care. We're going to read everyone's Patreon names out sometime in the month of December for Christmas. So if you want us to read your name on the air, pay us $1, and we'll read your name sometime in the month of December.
Remember, it doesn't have to be your
Extra
name.
bonus.
Go change your name in Patreon to make Jaron say something hilarious.
Or Tony.
Or
Tony,
me
but
this time,
mostly-
apparently.
Okay,
mostly
Tony, do the
Jaron.
thing.
I don't see what you're referring to, Jen, but I'm just going to go for it.
It's
Here
better
we
that
go.
way.
Our awesome extra special tech daddies, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw. Best stickers are made by Pieman Graphics and David Broshinsky. Extra thank you to you guys. Then we got Kirk Lando James, Jason Eatman. Fingers crossed Lambo's internet cuts out. You know who else is a patron? My mom. Be the
Not your mom?
8-year-old. Kyle, Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek, Travis Johnson, Jeremy, No Name No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, the in-between rating plus 20.
Yeah, let's go.
Just when I think you couldn't be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Good quote. DP, Lambo leaps lovingly while longing for letters from Lang.
Oh, I like that one.
Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd, you can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality.
Nope.
Not
And finally, so-and-so.
You did it.
Ta-da!
Good job, Johnny. I'm so proud of you. All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Geek Show Help Desk. And Tony should be playing the outro music now.
Oh, you want that? I got that.
Yeah. Anyway, find us on Geek Show Arcade as well. And Lando, why don't you take us out?
You know, I do this a lot. I'm going to do it some more. Our Patreon's the best. Be an end user.
Drink.
It's the best.